Today, let's talk about how to keep the unity. And I'm going to read to you from Ephesians chapter 4, verses 2 and 3, where we read, "With all lowliness and gentleness, with long suffering, bearing with one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace." Ephesians chapter 4 begins a whole new part of Paul's letter to the Ephesians. The first 3 chapters explain in glorious detail all that God has done for believers, freely by His grace. Starting with chapter 4, he tells believers how to live rightly, but only after having explained what God did for His people in Jesus Christ. Having considered and received all that God has done for us, we are to live with all lowliness and gentleness. Not a pushy desire to defend our own rights and to advance our own agenda. You know, before Christianity, this word lowliness that we read about here always had a bad association to it. In the minds of many people, it still does. But it is a glorious Christian virtue. It means that we can be happy and content when we are not in control or steering things our way. Having considered and received all God has done for us, we are to have long suffering and to bear with each other. We need this so that the inevitable wrongs that occur between people in God's family will not work against God's purpose of bringing all things together in Jesus. And that's illustrated through His current work in the church. Having considered and received all that God has done for us, we should endeavor to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. This humble, patient attitude towards each other naturally fulfills this gift of the unity of the Spirit. Now, please note that we must endeavor to keep this unity. We don't create it. God never commands believers to create unity among themselves. No, God has created it by His Spirit. Our duty is to recognize it and to keep it. And it's also important to note that this is a spiritual unity, not necessarily a structural or denominational unity. It is evident in the quick fellowship possible among Christians of different races, different nationalities, different languages, different economic classes. We can understand this unity of the Spirit by understanding what it is not. This isn't the unity of lies, of evil, of superstition, or it's not the unity that cowers under spiritual tyranny. This isn't the unity of geography, as if all the Christians in the city had to be weekly gathered in the same building in order to fulfill this. This isn't the unity of church government or denominational arrangements. No, friends, this is the unity of the Spirit. And false forms of unity work against the true. We are confident that this unity is found in Jesus Christ by the Spirit of God. As true born-again believers from different backgrounds and experiences draw closer and closer to Jesus, they'll also draw closer to one another. Jesus Christ is the source of our unity. He is the one who broke down every wall. Jesus purchased this powerful unity at great cost with His own blood. Dear believer, what are you doing to keep this unity?